I am part of a book club and our goal was to read 120 books in 2022. It's December and I have been able to read only 66 books. Life happened. There was just so much going on that I wasn't able to meet my goal. But I am okay with what I've read, and out of the 66 books, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 10 books I have read in 2022. I am hoping that at the end of this video, you'll find a book or two to put it into your 2023 reads to also enjoy and learn some of the things I've learned. And I've shared these books between fiction and non-fiction for your reading pleasure. So stick with me and let's run through these as quickly as possible. Can we overcome our past? The first book I'm sharing with you is called the Katie Parker series. It's a 6-book series which talks about a girl called Katie Parker. Her mother was sent to prison and her father is nowhere to be found. So she's being forced to go into a foster family, which she doesn't want. So her aim in this foster family was to do something bad that they would send her back to wherever she was. Somehow she got to stay. And the thing is that there's just so much shared in this book and so much struggles and pain and laughter and love and romance and just so much. It's a young adult novel, so we see throughout the 6 books how Katie is able to grow into an adult and the life decisions to make and how her past keep haunting her. I definitely want to recommend this book for you to read. It was such an enjoyable read for me and I was able to read most of the books within a few days because I enjoyed the story so much and I learned so much from it as well. The second book I'll be talking about is Show Your Work by Kleon. There are so many reasons or factors that made me start a YouTube channel, and this book was one of the contributing factors. As the title depicts, the author says to show your work. It says most of us are always waiting for the right time, always waiting to polish our skills or have the right skills before we can start showing it to the world. But he says that whether you're an artist, you're a writer, whatever you do, just show it. Why are you hiding your skills? Show it, and as you keep showing it to the world, you keep perfecting it and you keep becoming better. It's such a tiny book that you can read it between an hour and 2 hours, but you go home with so much that you learn from it that you just get started with whatever you have been wanting to start. And so I definitely recommend it to you. The third I'll be sharing with you is my absolute favorite. It's called the Fylnn series by Cavanagh. I think there are about 5 books in this series, and I read all of them within 7 days. Talk about an obsession of a book. Like, I was so obsessed with these books that any small chance I get, I'm reading it. I can read till like 3 a.m., wake up in the morning and I now feel horrible because I'm feeling sleepy. If you like courtroom drama, if you like legal thrillers, then you are covered. Oh my God. This book is about a guy called Fylnn who was a con artist now turned a lawyer. He's such a smart guy, and since it's fiction, I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you like legal thrillers and courtroom drama, just go grab this book. After reading this book, you would actually want to be a lawyer because it's so interesting and oh my God, so mind-blowing. The fourth book I read is called Still Like an Artist by Kleon. This is the second book I read by the author, and I now understand why it's a New York Times bestseller. I absolutely loved it. So the author shares 10 tips of being a creative, and he talks about how there's actually nothing new under the sun, and there's nothing like having an original idea. And so as a creative, all you have to do is copy from different people and make it your own. Not plagiarize, but copying ideas from different people. He shares about how you can generate ideas, so many tips on even financial literacy, how to practice productive procrastination. Have you heard of productive procrastination before? How he talks about even marrying well, and marrying well doesn't necessarily mean choosing the life partner, which he says is one of the most important decisions you make in life. But marrying well also means the people you decide to do business with, the people you decide to work with, the people you decide to surround yourself with. It's such a book that is cut across so many areas, and how you can just start about working, like practicing how to write, how to, like so many other things he shares in the book that were really mind-blowing, and I really loved it. I've actually highlighted everything in the book. It's one of my favorite reads this year, and I'll keep sharing. I'll keep putting in the lessons I've learned from this book in my works as the years go by, and so I recommend it to you. It's also a very short book, and you can read it within 2 hours, and you will learn so much from it. So I recommend it to you. The fifth book I'll be sharing with you today is The Wedding Dress by Rachel Hauck, a wedding dress worn by 4 different women in the space of 100 years. How possible is that? And the stories of how each woman even got this dress was such a dramatic thing. I really love this so much, and there's just so much stories on how these women are connected, and the love and courage and struggles and fear and pain and all those things that happened until they got this wedding dress. I really love this so much, and since it's a novel, I usually don't want to give so much out to bore you from deciding to read the book. It's one of my favorite reads, and it was just an interesting one. You should check it out. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash the like button. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, and your subscription and your like on this video will mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. Now let's get back into the video. The 6th book I'll be sharing with you today is called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. This is the 2nd book I'm reading by the author after his most popular book, Think and Grow Rich. And wow, so this book basically talks about the life of Napoleon, and it was published so many years after his death, as it was said that if they published the book, it would cause a lot of uproar in the world. So they waited for him to die before they published it. So how do I really explain this book for you to understand? I feel like there are some books that the best thing is to read it for yourself and actually get it and understand it, but I'm going to try my best and just give you small tips on the things I learned in the book. So he explores a theme in the book known as your other self. So he says that people who are able to identify and listen to their other self will be able to find their purpose easily, and your other self will be able to direct you to find success easily. He also talks about how he had a conversation with the devil and he forced the devil to confess. I was wondering. And he says that the devil says he controls about 98% of the world, and one of the ways is usually through fear. He uses fear to control the minds of people, and another way is through poverty. And so the devil confessed that he uses fear, and it makes a lot of people to stop thinking for themselves. It makes a lot of people to stop pursuing the things they want, and just so many things that was said in the book. It was such a weird book, but honestly such an eye-opening book. You get to learn a lot of things from the book, and people are wondering whether he actually had a conversation with the devil or it was just his mind. He was lost in thoughts that he said he had a conversation with the devil. The book also explores other themes such as our education, our religion, our environment, and how it affects us. It's such an interesting book, and you should read it for yourself, honestly. I don't know how to best explain it for you. The 7th book is called Isaiah's Daughter by Mesu. Wow, this is one of the books that keeps you up at night to finish it. So it's a historical fiction. Let me just use small. So a young girl at 5 years, she becomes an orphan. She's being picked and brought to Jerusalem. Isaiah adopts her. She falls in love with the future king Hezekiah, and her name is changed to Hephzibah, shortly Ziba, which means the delight of the world. This book, the topic of pain and struggle and adventure and drama and love and doubts, faith, all written together made it such a beautiful read. This was my first book by the author, and I'm definitely going to be reading most of her books in the future. God, I just wanted to know what will happen and what will happen and what will happen. And by the time if you are reading it in the night, it will be daybreak. Such an interesting read, and you should check it out for yourself. It's called Isaiah's Daughter by Mesu. And the 8th book is called Traveling Light by Max Lucado, and it's written based on the 23rd Psalm of the Bible, and I think it's a book for everyone. It talks about how most of us travel through life with so much luggage and baggage that it doesn't even help us to go far, and we get exhausted with the struggles and the heaviness and the burdens of life. And so this book follows you, or it teaches you how to go through life without these burdens and baggages and luggages, how to let go, how to surrender, how to leave everything so that you'll be able to travel through life light. I really enjoyed it. It's not such a bulky book. I think it's just a few pages, a few hundred pages, and you will learn through life, and you will walk through life. Not worrying about so many things in life. And so please check it out for yourself. Our ninth book is called God on Mute by Greig. It's a book on an answered prayer. Sometimes you are going through a lot and it's like God is mute. It's like God cannot hear you. You are asking questions and you are not getting answers to them. You are struggling through a lot and it's like all your prayers are just going through somewhere and you actually need answers and you are not getting it. Then this book is for you. When it's like everything is falling apart and you don't know who to talk to and you are praying and nothing is happening and you are doubting and you have fears that you can't even voice it out for somebody to hear, you have questions that you are not getting answers to, this book is for you. The author went through so much and he's writing from his experience and how he navigated through that season of his life. I teared down reading this book several times. Wow. If you have ever been in a situation where you are asking questions and you are not getting answers, then you should probably read this book. I know I said I was going to share 10 books with you, but I still have 2 more books. And if you know me, you know that these books would have been featured here. I've spoken about them so much in most of my videos, but I think I still have to talk about them because they've been really life-changing for me this year. And I think everybody should read them. So if you wouldn't even read all the books I've spoken about, you should definitely read these 2 books if you haven't read them already. And the next one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Yes, I know you've heard me talk about it, but why do I keep talking about it so much? Because it's a book on habits, and I've come to realize that our habits affects us in so many ways and it affects every area of our lives. And so if you're able to get your habits right, then you are definitely going to get your life right. And so he explores so many things: how to develop the right habits, how to let go of bad habits, how to become better every day, that at the end of the year you will know that you have improved and you will see even the improvements there. How to not set goals, how to build systems to do the right things. It's such a book, and if I were you, this will be the first book I'll be reading in 2023, because if you get your habits right, then you will get the rest of your year right. If you're always wondering why you set New Year resolutions and you write things down that you want to do and you don't do them, then the answers are found in this book. Honestly, you should definitely read Atomic Habits. The next book I'll be talking about is The Psychology of Money by Housel, right? Well, I've also spoken about this book so many times because it's a book that works on your mind. It's not necessarily about making money, but it tackles your mind first, because your mindset about money is more important than even how much money you make. Because if your mindset is about always spending, no matter how much money you make, you cannot keep, you cannot save, you cannot invest. It talks about why people behave with money in such a way that you would think that they are crazy, but they are actually not crazy. It all boils down to their mindset, their behavior, how they were brought up, the kind of environment they live, just so many things talking about the mind. And it's such an easy read. It doesn't come with so many of those complex things with personal finance books. So if you haven't read it as well, please also read this book for yourself. Have you read any of these books I have listed in this video? Let me know in the comment section. How did you feel about them? What did you learn? Let me know in the comment section as well. And if you enjoyed this video, I have a video here on the top 5 African books I read this year. And I'm also going to link a video here which I've grouped it into a playlist on 2023, how to win in 2023, how to become better in 2023. It cuts across different areas, from habits and planning to develop to personal finance and money mistakes and all those things. Kindly check it out. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, bye for now.